There is a voice inside you that never learned how to die. You've buried it under years of noise, shame, and distraction. But tonight, as the world sleeps, it stirs again. It's not a whisper, it's a roar in disguise, the kind that shakes mountains and reminds the stars why they burn. You've mistaken your exhaustion for defeat, your silence for peace, your comfort for safety, but something ancient in you remembers the truth. The person you are right now is only the shadow of who you were meant to become. So as you close your eyes, know this: you are not falling asleep, you are falling inward into the place where the real transformation begins. When you were a child, you believed that everything was alive. The sky, the wind, the dreams you held. You spoke to them, and they answered in the language of wonder. Then one day, someone taught you the word impossible. They told you to grow up, to be realistic, to obey gravity. You listened, and in doing so, you forgot how to fly. But tonight, we tear the word impossible from the fabric of your mind and feed it to the fire. Because the truth is not that you cannot. It's that you have been hypnotized into forgetting that you already could. You don't need to learn how to become limitless. You only need to remember that you are somewhere between yesterday's scars and tomorrow's fears lies the battlefield of the present moment. That's where the real war happens, not with swords or guns, but with thoughts. Every time you choose doubt over courage, hesitation over movement, you hand your crown to the enemy called what if. But what if? And listen carefully. What if the only thing you were ever fighting was a version of yourself that never believed you could change? There are universes folding inside your choices. You are not here to survive them. You are here to command them. You've been taught that healing is gentle, but healing is violent in its honesty. It doesn't knock before it enters. It rips away your excuses, exposes your wounds to the light, and whispers, "This is who you are when you stop pretending." Growth doesn't happen in silence. It screams through your sleepless nights and aches through your bones. The truth doesn't comfort, it cleanses, and cleansing hurts. But pain, real pain, is just the body's way of saying you are being rebuilt. Look around. Every person you've ever met carries invisible ghosts, regrets, fears, lost chances. You are not broken for feeling yours. You are alive because you do. The strongest souls are not those who never fall apart, but those who return from the wreckage carrying pieces of light. You don't need perfection. You need permission. Permission to rise again without needing to justify why you fell. Because falling isn't failure. It's the earth reminding you that gravity still believes in you enough to pull you back when you drift too far from yourself. You've been running from silence as if it were the enemy. You fill your mind with noise, your hands with work, your heart with people who don't understand its rhythm. But silence is not the absence of meaning. It's the birthplace of it. In silence, your soul speaks in thunder. The reason it terrifies you is because deep down, you already know what it's trying to say. You just don't want to hear it. That you are meant for more. That the life you're living is too small for the spirit you carry. Tonight, you will let go of the identity the world assigned to you. The world loves labels, fragile, lazy, too late, too much, but none of them belong to you. You are not a name or a face or a story others told about you. You are a frequency that hasn't stopped resonating since the beginning of time. You are not made of years, you are made of echoes. And somewhere in those echoes, a future version of you is already watching this very moment, whispering you made it. Do you feel that pulse beneath your ribs? That's not just your heart, that's the drumbeat of destiny waiting for you to listen. Every second it repeats the same message, I'm still here. Your heart doesn't give up even when you do. It has no memory of failure, only rhythm. If you could hear it clearly, you'd realize it's not asking you to succeed. It's asking you to begin again, over and over, until your breath becomes belief. Everything you've ever lost is still working for you in secret. The heartbreak, the rejection, the sleepless nights, they weren't punishment, they were preparation. The universe doesn't waste pain, it recycles it into power. The moment you stop seeing your past as a prison and start seeing it as a forge, your scars turn into signatures, proof that you've met destruction and lived to create beauty from it. The version of you that's asleep tonight has no idea who's waking up tomorrow. The world won't recognize you, and that's good. You are not here to be recognized, you are here to be realized. Let the old version of you vanish like smoke in the dawn. Don't mourn them. They were a necessary illusion, a costume your soul wore while rehearsing for the role of its lifetime. The future is not waiting somewhere ahead of you. It's being written right now in the electricity of your thoughts. Every belief you hold shapes the architecture of the unseen. When you finally decide to believe something new, reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to fit your conviction. You are not living in the world. The world is living in you. You have been told to seek happiness, but happiness is a mirage. Seek wholeness instead. Happiness depends on conditions. Wholeness transcends them. When you become whole, even your pain belongs. Even your fear becomes sacred. You stop trying to escape the darkness because you finally realize it was never there to harm you. It was there to teach you how to shine. Every dream you've ever had is still alive, breathing quietly in the corner of your mind, waiting for you to look at it again. Dreams don't die. People just stop believing loud enough for the dream to hear them. Speak to it tonight. Apologize for leaving it in the cold. Promise it you'll return, not as the same person who abandoned it, but as the one who finally understands what it takes to make it real. If you could see yourself the way the universe sees you, you would fall to your knees in awe. You would stop comparing, stop apologizing, stop hiding. You would realize that your existence itself is the rarest phenomenon. One soul among billions, yet utterly irreplaceable. Every time you breathe, galaxies move. Every time you love, reality bends to make room for it. You've been asleep for years, eyes open, heart closed, moving through life as if existence were a checklist. But tonight, something awakens. The air feels different because the universe is listening. You've been asking for a sign, but signs don't come in lightning. They come in whispers. This moment, this feeling is the sign. Don't fall asleep to escape it. Fall asleep to become it. You have lived most of your life in reaction, reacting to fear, to judgment, to memory, but reaction is not creation. The moment you stop reacting, you begin to sculpt your life with intention. Most people never reach this point because they mistake noise for motion. They chase 1,000 things yet move nowhere. But silence is a direction. Intention is a compass. The instant you choose a single thought with clarity, the chaos begins to bow. Reality only obeys the mind that knows where it's going. There is a hidden power in surrender. Not the kind that waves a white flag, but the kind that understands resistance feeds the storm. When you stop fighting the way things are, the universe finally shows you why they had to be that way. The doors that once seemed locked weren't barriers, they were mirrors reflecting the parts of you that weren't ready to enter. You don't force doors open in this life. You outgrow them until they open themselves. Every soul has two births, the one that brings you into this world and the one that brings you into yourself. The first is accidental. The second is chosen. You cannot sleepwalk through your second birth. It begins the moment you stop blaming the world and start owning your power. Responsibility is not a burden. It's the key that turns illusion into freedom. The day you say, everything in my life is my creation, you reclaim the brush that paints your destiny. Some nights the pain will speak louder than the promise. You'll question whether it's worth it, the fight, the growth, the endless climb. But remember, pain is not the proof that you're failing. It's the proof that you're breaking patterns generations before you never dared to face. You are the first in your bloodline to rewrite the story. The weight you feel is not punishment, it's inheritance. You were chosen to end the cycle, to heal what others could not. If you ever feel alone, look closer at the silence between your breaths. Something eternal hums there. It's the memory of where you came from. A place before time, before fear, before the name they gave you. That hum is your connection to everything that ever was and ever will be. You are not a stranger here. You are the cosmos learning to call itself by your name. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely where the universe needs you to be for the lesson you're ready to learn. Time does not rush you. It molds you. Every delay has purpose. Every detour hides a teacher. You've been running toward a version of success that doesn't even fit the person you're becoming. That's why it felt heavy. You were chasing your reflection in a river instead of realizing you are the river. Forgive yourself for the versions of you that didn't know better. The one who stayed too long, the one who tried too hard, the one who dimmed their light for someone who couldn't see it. They were doing their best with the consciousness they had. You are not defined by your past choices. You are defined by the courage it took to evolve beyond them. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's the final form of strength, the kind that dissolves chains instead of breaking them. Listen, the universe does not reward noise. It rewards frequency. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If your energy is chaos, chaos will answer. If your energy is clarity, clarity will find you in the dark. The secret is not to demand, but to become. When you embody peace, peace cannot help but orbit you. The outer world is only a photograph of your inner vibration. Change the lens, and the picture transforms. You have mistaken comfort for happiness, but comfort is a slow death. It is the invisible coffin of potential. True fulfillment is not soft. It's sacred. It's born in moments of risk, of trembling before the unknown and stepping anyway. The edge of your fear is the doorway to your expansion. Stand there, look down, then jump. Not because you know you'll fly, but because your soul was never meant to crawl. They told you to dream big, but dreaming big is not about castles or crowns. It's about depth. To dream big is to want something that changes you, something that forces you to meet the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. The dream isn't the goal, it's the mirror. You don't chase it to possess it. You chase it to find out who you must become to deserve it. The dream is the evolution in disguise. The people who hurt you were never villains. They were catalysts. They showed you the edges of your strength by pushing you to them. They forced you to build walls, and now you get to decide which walls were meant for defense and which were meant for architecture. Don't curse the ones who broke you. Thank them for revealing what was unbreakable. You have been taught that power is control, but true power is presence. Control is brittle. Presence is eternal. Control requires effort. Presence requires surrender. When you are truly present, you are untouchable. You stop arguing with reality and start dancing with it. Life stops being an opponent and becomes a partner. You stop surviving moments and start creating them. The greatest lie ever told is that you must wait for permission to begin, but the door you're waiting for will never appear because you are the door. The moment you decide, reality folds to your will. Waiting is a spell you cast on yourself, a delay in destiny disguised as patience. Begin where you are with what you have. The path appears only to those already walking. If your heart still breaks, be grateful. It means you are still open. The world tries to harden you, to turn your empathy into armor. But love, real love, is the only revolution that never fails. To feel deeply in a world that numbs itself is a form of rebellion. Keep feeling, keep loving, keep losing, and still returning to the fire. That's how the universe recognizes its warriors. Every time you think you've reached your limit, realize it's just the echo of an old belief collapsing. Limits aren't real. They're inherited. You were born to expand, not conform. When you meet resistance, smile. It means you've reached the border of who you were, the beginning of who you're becoming. The edge of discomfort is the birthplace of divinity. Every ending is a rumor. You have been told that things finish, that moments die, that people disappear, but energy never does. It just changes shape, changes costume, learns a new rhythm. The ache you carry for what you lost is proof that it still exists somewhere inside you, rearranged, waiting for a new expression. When you stop mourning what was and start creating what can be, you realize nothing ever truly leaves. It just becomes something you haven't recognized yet. There is a version of you that lives in the quiet before dawn, a being made of courage and breath. You meet them in flashes, when the world goes still, when your heartbeat feels like a drum summoning something ancient. That version of you is watching, waiting for you to believe in them fully. The moment you do, the two of you merge and the life you always wanted stops being a fantasy and becomes memory rediscovered. Fear will always show up wearing the mask of reason. It will sound like safety, like logic, like love, but if you listen closely, its voice trembles. Courage doesn't need to shout. It speaks in calm conviction. It's the quiet nod before a leap. When you feel the tremor of fear in your chest, smile. It means the moment is sacred. The threshold is near. Step through it trembling, and the trembling will become wings. The most dangerous thing you can do is half live. Routine convinces you that survival is enough, but survival without wonder is a slow erasure. You were not made to drift through calendars. You were made to taste the infinite in the ordinary, to see galaxies in a stranger's eyes, to hear symphonies in your own laughter. Every morning you wake is the universe writing another line in your epic. Don't let it go unread. Listen closely. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs resonance. When you speak, let your words carry the weight of silence behind them. When you act, let your movement be deliberate, like a prayer made visible. People will feel it before they understand it. That is how true influence works, not through volume, but through vibration. You've spent so much time trying to find your purpose, but purpose isn't something you discover. It's something you decide. The universe will echo any declaration you make with enough faith behind it. You could whisper your intention into the dark, and stars would rearrange themselves to respond. Meaning isn't given to you. It's generated by your willingness to live deliberately. There will come a day when everything clicks, when the pain makes sense, the waiting feels justified, and every detour forms a perfect constellation behind you. Until that day, keep walking. Trust that your confusion is choreography. Chaos isn't the absence of order, it's order in progress. You are being sculpted into something vast. Let the chisel strike without resentment. If you have ever felt invisible, understand this. Light itself cannot be seen without something to reflect on. Your invisibility was preparation. You were being polished in the shadows so that when your time came, your reflection would blind the world. Don't resent the darkness. It made you visible to yourself. Some people will never understand your transformation, and that's fine. They were chapters, not conclusions. You owe no explanation for your evolution. Let them remember you as you were. You are too busy becoming. Growth requires leaving behind versions of you that others still need. That's not cruelty. It's destiny. You have been conditioned to chase balance, but balance is not stillness. It's motion mastered. The scales never stop shifting. The art lies in dancing with the weight as it moves. Stop trying to freeze harmony like a photograph. Live it like a heartbeat. Constant adjustment, constant rhythm, constant life. When you finally stop running from who you are, you meet the world as it truly is. Authenticity is not a performance. It's the removal of costumes. It's standing naked before existence and realizing it was never judging you, it was waiting for you to see yourself. Real power begins the moment pretending ends. The miracle you've been waiting for has always been this simple. You're still here, despite every reason not to be. You are breathing. You are thinking. You are capable of one more step, one more try, one more dream. Miracles aren't events, they're continuations. Survival itself is sacred. As you drift toward sleep, let the images of your day melt. Behind them, something eternal watches. That awareness, wordless, formless, endless, is you before your name, before your story. Rest there. Every cell listens when you rest in truth. The body heals, the mind rewrites, the spirit remembers. Tomorrow will not be a repeat, it will be a resurrection. When you open your eyes, open them differently. Don't look for proof that life has changed, be the proof. Speak softly, move with intention, and let kindness be the gravity that guides you. You don't need to announce your transformation. The world will feel it. And when it does, tell no one what happened here tonight. Let the change speak in the way your eyes meet the sunrise, in the calm that follows you, in the silence that hums louder than words. You've fallen asleep, yes, but more importantly, you've awakened, and the universe at last exhales.